Hi, everybody. It is Saturday, November 22nd. There may be some noise. My neighbor right across the way from me, a huge eucalyptus tree came down in the storms, and there's a big crew out there because it fell down halfway down into the canyon. They've got ropes and pulleys trying to get the pieces of the tree out as they're cutting it up. It was a massive tree, really heartbreaking. To see like that open space that was covered with this gorgeous tree. But these storms with that much rain, and especially when you're dealing with hillsides, things can cut loose in there. I've got a hillside back here too that's got 4 big oak trees on it, and I lost one a few years back, and the others have now grown in to that space. I would hate to lose another one, but all we can do is cross our fingers. It was fun yesterday doing the score for the movie, and I thought I'm just going to do another one like that, which I really enjoyed working on. We had so much fun doing this. I worked with George Fenton on the music for Groundhog Day, and I always tell people, I said, there's so much of my life that feels like Groundhog Day, and I go, it was one thing to work on the movie; it's another thing to be living it every day. But it was so much fun because, especially when we were doing those films, we were usually on a big sound stage, and you had a huge screen that the orchestra was kind of surrounded. You could look back and watch a bit, and the conductor is across the room conducting, looking at that screen, and all the different code marks and stuff are coming by, the points to hit, because it's a very complicated thing doing film score, really legit, rather than there's a lot of movies now where they just they get a bunch of songs and then they just sort of fade it in and fade it out. But the real great film scores, just they sit and they work on it, every little hit, every little nuance, and it has some kind of an action taking place. And when we did this movie, we could see it in the same way, like when we did Kindergarten Cops and Throw Mama from the Train and all those movies. It's really was fun. I mean, there's times where you really don't want to look because you're laughing so hard, and you're at work. You really should be paying attention. I couldn't find a list of players, so let me look one more time. Let me just see if there's, because it was all, the stuff like Bruce Dukov was the concert master on this. The executive producer was Sharon Boyle. Jeff Atmajian did a lot of the orchestration. Sandy DeCrescent contracted. It was mastered by Steve Markison. George Fenton was producer and composer. Jeff Pollack was the consultant on this. I'm going to look a little bit more and see if I can get any kind of credits for anything here. Now, on these, it's really hard to ever find anything listed about the actual players. You've got a big room full of folks working, and that's pretty much how it works. Let's see. No, it's just technical stuff. There's really nothing about the musicians on this. I just know we had a ball doing it. It was just a ton of fun. So let me go ahead and play some of the cues. Now, once again, like yesterday, this was all done to visuals. So right now, we're only listening to the music that we did. But when you saw the movie, there was dialogue, there was activities taking place, sound effects, and all that. And then each of these gets designated, like the one I'm going to play right now is just called Drunks. So it obviously had something to do with somebody drinking, and that's how they go ahead and designate these things. But it was really fun. So here, let me play a little bit of music from Groundhog Day. when you see visuals on it, then it all makes total sense this way. But this is just really just the fun music part of it. Okay, I'm going to play a few of these. These are all just like little snippets from the movie. Here's one called "You Like Boats But Not the Ocean." It's great. I love it. I love this. Here's one called, so quickie little, Phil Gets the Girl. So here we go. Now that was upright on that. It might have been Chuck DeMonico at that time, who was the premier upright player in LA for film scores. Here's one called "Phil Steals the Money." And when you do this stuff, you really got to have your reading chops up, because so many times you're doubling bass would be doubling like bassoon or tuba or trombone. And there were other times where I'm doubling with, like, I'll be on one side of the room with the rhythm section, and there'll be like 6 upright basses on the other side of the room, and we're all doubling parts together. So it's always a challenge. Here's one called The Kidnap and the Quarry. Here we go. Now, a lot of the time, you've got a click that they set the tempos on it. And there's times where you're sitting out there for maybe 100 bars of just counting, waiting for your cue, and you pray to God you don't screw up your count on it. And other times we're only working to the conductor, and you're watching your music in front of you, but you're also keeping a beeline on the conductor, waiting for him to, give you your direction. So it's really a challenge, but it's a great challenge. Here's a quickie little one here called Sometimes People Just Die. Here we go. Okay, one more. This one is called A New Day. And again, George Fenton is the composer on this. It's still one of my favorite movies. It's so well done. Bill Murray is like just the best. This would be done to conductor. And then nothing like hearing the sound of chainsaws as it ends. It's great. So George Fenton's music for Groundhog Day. It's fun digging around looking for these different John Barry movies and Elmer Bernstein and all these different people we've worked with over the years, James Newton Howard. So I'm gonna keep digging around in this too. But this is a whole other side of doing studio work. It's not all just going in and playing on records. It's a lot of other stuff. And some of the film stuff is the most demanding in terms of reading, because most of the records I go in, there's very little written out for us. Occasionally you'll have stuff written out, but generally it's a pretty basic chart and they want you to just do your thing, as one would say. But with film and stuff, there are times where they say, take liberties with it. Here's the structure of it, but kind of make it your own. And that's the way it was with like a lot of the TV stuff I did with Mike Post. Mike would always say, there would be a part written out, but he'd say, just do what you do in it. So I would throw some glisses and other little things in it. But basically, you're working to a visual, so it's not a jam. It's very specific as to where hits are and all that. So you can't stray too far from the farm, as one would say, whoever one is. So it's crazy. Okay, well, I'm going to get going here then, and I will talk to you later. But maybe I'll dig up another film for tomorrow, just to do the weekend of movies. So all my best wishes, and talk to you soon. Bye.